All right, so a bit of a messy week. However, I do think we have really shown our hand in terms of where we'll be going over the next week or so. So you guys know that from both EU and AU perspectives, we were anticipating the potential accumulation. And right here where, once we had broken structure, we had assumed here exactly that we were basically topped out, at least for the short medium term. So now we're seeing this develop and maybe seeing this top out not only from a short and medium term, but potentially for the next couple of weeks. So by that, I mean, if you guys saw Tuesday's webinar, we were anticipating, right, the continuation. Let me go to the 30. Okay. We were anticipating, right, the continuation because we had already seen a failure to continue lower and we had already seen price begin to show us internal unwillingness. So due to that, we had anticipated, right, that we would come back into the immediate retracement, not necessarily the deeper retracement, but that if we were going to continue higher, we were going to at least see a reaction based on the, hold on, letting somebody in, based on the immediate continuation here. So as we know, after we meet, right, our initial targets, initial points of liquidity, we cannot necessarily anticipate moves to, we can't necessarily know what's going to happen after the liquidity is taken. Why? Because we can have, an unsubstantial new high or low, create an internal liquidity grab, which is kind of what we saw with the news. As you can see here, right, we don't necessarily blame news for moves, but as you can see, right, all news did was emphasize on the narrative that was built based on what we had said on Tuesday. So we saw the reaction that made sense from the internal continuation perspective. That made sense, that met its initial target, but after that it converted. I could not anticipate that just yet. But you can see that there's an internal liquidity grab right after we take previous highs, internal liquidity grab, and the news was just the excuse to, right, mitigate and pretty much make all of that efficient, which is why we're only seeing continuations there. So I don't necessarily want to worry too much about this. I care more so about what is occurring right after that liquidity grab, after that green line has been met. Why? Because this is not only a continuation BOS to the upside, and it emphasizes the overall swing bullish perspective, but we know, right, that once we see, right, the continuation BOS in one direction and then we see the continuation BOS in the opposite direction, we know that that's a failure of a move, a failed reaction to the upside based on, the overall structure that we had been talking about over the past 2 or 3 weeks. So because that has failed, this is now giving me signs of a structural disruption, right? Basically here, right? Signs of a structural disruption after we met that red line there. So it's really looking like we're really more so diving into that bearish bias and solidifying, this as a very long-term, not a very long-term, but a more so longer-term high. And as of today, we are seeing, right, a potential continuation mitigation here. However, right, we have met, right, our previous structure that we had noted, right, about, let's say, I guess this was about 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. And that has caused an internal reaction. So we know, right, that there's been a failed reaction here. And now that we know that we have an internal bullish liquidity grab, which we can see more so on a minor intraday time frame, right, we have our, right, medium term liquidity grab here based on the continuation BOS here. And we know that we've pretty much come back into a turbulence point, caused a reaction here. So what happens in this general area is really going to dictate whether or not we're going to continue higher convert into a bullish bias, or if we're going to emphasize and continue this bearish bias. So we are now here where this is the if this then that point, right? If we have a bullish transition and we meet the continuation BOS from the minor intraday perspective, then we know that this structural disruption could be invalidated. Why? Because just as easily as we converted into a bearish stance, we could easily convert back into a bullish stance. However, even if this creates a reaction and then breaks structure, then we now for sure know that we're going to anticipate the continuation to the downside, right? So, which is more so what I would like to see. I don't necessarily want to see this continue more so to a bullish sense, especially with EURUSD. You guys know that we are pretty much anticipating the same thing with DXY alongside EU and AU, which was the bearish continuation for AU and EU. And we had a general area that we were looking for, and that gave a reaction. However, this gave internal unwillingness. So I'm actually going to take all of this off, because now the only things that matter to me are here. POI, the unwillingness here, and the order flow disruption here. This emphasizes unwillingness here, basically full on confirms it, and we are now seeing the potential continuation to the upside. So I am favoring the bullish sense here. Also, right, what's interesting to note is if we begin to zoom out here, right, we are seeing, right, we already talked about the accumulation before, and we already covered why we don't really see this coming back way too down here. However, the main thing that I want you to know is the change of momentum. The overall change of momentum, we're seeing any push to the downside become significantly weaker, right? And from this perspective, from this time frame being your more so major intraday swing, you can see order flow begin to develop. Order flow starting to develop, and the only way for this to be confirmed as strong order flow, we need this major break of structure here. And if we're noting that as well, then we're also seeing that we have relative equal highs there. So I am confident in that bullish sense, in that bullish bias, because one, we are overextended, right? However, we can't necessarily assume a reversal only until we get those bullish transitions inside of the bearish trend. We already saw the bearish perspective come in and fail via this red line here. So now I am very confident that we're probably going to see much more higher pricing here. And that would more so emphasize the bias that was created from the accumulation. And this is where you get these more so conservative entries to potentially get these big swings. However, if we do get that transition here and we do get those positions here, right, we will be alert once we reach this premium. Why? Because this is where the change of character occurred. And we are still bearish from the overall swing sense. So that covers that. AUDUSD, this one's a bit choppy. Didn't really like this. Right, like we said, we were anticipating the continuation here, which is where the lines were. That gave a reaction. However, the reaction gave unwillingness, and that led to another set of unwillingness, and that then confirmed the range here. But that took 1-2 big pushes in order to create a new significant low. So we know that if we are having that, then we are naturally in weak momentum, which is kind of what's happening here. However, it is a bit, not necessarily the best confirmation, just because we have been choppy for a very long time here. And what's cool to know, right, is that this unsubstantial new high, this internal liquidity grab, right, was not just an insignificant new high or an unsubstantial new high, but because of the weak reactions to the downside after that, we can now confirm, right, like we said, low momentum off of a bullish push, right? So as of now, this is looking choppy, and I think this is going to be choppy probably for the next week or so, because we do see, right, the internal liquidity grab here. It is a continuation BOS, but as soon as that breaks here, right, that will be more so converted into a bullish sense, because, right, we have given the continuation BOS, but the immediate continuation BOS on the opposite side, that will give me signs of, you know, a reversal to the upside, and that would more so fit the DXY and EU biases. So yeah, whatever happens here over the next couple of days, or probably the next day or two, we'll definitely know where this will go for the next couple of weeks. But that, yeah, that pretty much covers it for today. Do you guys have any questions? Let me see. How's everybody doing? Do we have any questions today? Yeah, man, doing all right. Working on a couple things, and yeah, just staying busy. Cool, I'll give it like 2-3 minutes, see if you guys have any questions. Yep, confirm reaction, and that was taken. Schedule changes a bit temporarily, so I'm not really trading this time. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Even if you can't necessarily trade, you should definitely look at the chart before you go to bed. See what happened today, why it happened, and what can potentially happen the next day. EU Moon, it looks like it, bro. It looks like it. And you fucking called it. You literally said Tomas was gonna get a fucking 15-second entry here, and he's gonna catch the whole swing. Just watch. I remember you said that. Because I know he's in from down here and like somewhere here. But yeah, those are looking very, very good. And this is a very good schematic really playing out now. Yeah, man, that's good. That's good. Are you still with FTMO? Awesome. Cool, I hope they're paying you out. Yeah, man, just make sure you follow the process. The process is definitely what is gonna really build that foundation for the next couple of months. But yeah, do you guys have any questions? That is true. I feel like this. I feel like the this transfer window, this preseason was super fast. Amen. We beat Real Madrid 4-0 and then 1-0, so. And we still have like 3 weeks left to the window too, so I'm curious to see what else is gonna happen. Chelsea needs some recruits. Ronaldo's gonna decide if he leaves or stays. City are stacked. Liverpool are stacked. Barca are stacked. Oh, you're a Chelsea fan? I don't even think you guys will be top 4 this season, if I'm being honest. Ronaldo's just being selfish. I mean, he wanted to go to Atletico Madrid, but let's be real, he's not gonna. The way that he is does not fit the moral standards that they have. Actually, that's Arsenal, but City, Liverpool, United shit, Chelsea shit, Spurs barely, and I think Arsenal would probably finish top 4 this season. Yeah, that's probably what I would say. Yeah, those 4. But it's a long season, eh? But I don't see anybody beating Man City unless they have like a bunch of injuries. But either way, they have like 2 squads. Madrid will never do that again in their history. They will never do that again. I think it depends on how Lewandowski plays, and it depends on how Benzema plays. If Benzema's ass this season, Madrid are fucked. Because Madrid with Benzema can beat any team. And they had Benzema, that's literally a cheat code. No, they should not bring Ronaldo back. He won't, no. Benzema's better than Ronaldo right now. No way. Vinny is good, Hazard is shit. Valverde is good, he just needs maybe a season or 2. Shame that they wasted East Coast talent. Nuno Sala Diaz, yeah, and then they have Firmino on the bench. That's a great sub. You can't send PDFs. Do you just save the images or do you save the links as well? I think if you send them to the group chat, I can definitely pull them up here. Oh, I have to sign in. Hold on. No, it doesn't work. I don't know if you can transport the images to the Discord. Let's see. Yeah, you can just export it as a PDF and just send it to me privately, and we can fix it from there. But yeah, if you guys don't have any questions, I'll probably end it up here. Yeah, cool. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. But yeah, you guys have a safe weekend.